Broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Not at a Titans training camp today. We were out there yesterday. It was
no one is. It's okay.
Yeah, right. Not open to the media today, but open to fans tomorrow, which will be cool. Fans get to go out there and see the Titans practice for the first time, and then the pads come on Monday, and we will be out there on Monday. So excited for that. Connor, how's it going this morning?
It's good, man. As fun as it is being out there, and I haven't gotten there yet, but Terry McCormick and Corey Curtis and Chase McCabe, all three have told me you're going to get very bored out there very quickly. 2 days in, haven't happened yet, so we'll see. But as fun as it is to be out there, I'm kind of thankful to be inside today.
Yeah.
At home in the air conditioning. I got a little burnt yesterday, but yesterday was a fun practice, man. I mean, I don't know if I told you this. It was just a whole huddle of everyone we know just watching. It was me, Willie D-Mace, obviously, TD, Corey, Terry, Mark Mariani,
1025 The Game crew.
Yeah, we rolled deep. Mark Mariani and Brad Hopkins stopped by. It was fun.
Yeah,
fun time.
I saw a lot of former Titans were out there. Ben Jones was out there. Obviously, D-Mace. He's researching for your guys' show in the afternoon. You've been busy lately. I mean, I appreciate you making some time to come on with us. I mean, you're doing like 7 hours of radio every single day.
Well, thankfully, Chase McCabe was kind enough to give me the afternoon off yesterday.
Oh, so, right. Yeah, I guess being out there.
Well, I was hosting with Rex Road in the morning yesterday, and then
straight to
training camp. I was like, look, I can do it, but like just a little bit of time to just decompress.
One moment where you can actually go home and relax. Dr. Crane, how are you this morning?
Doing well, man. It's been a fun week. Like Connor has mentioned, with all the Titans training camp, it's good to just have football back.
I know.
In the mouths of sports talk radio.
I know. It was really cool. That was my first time getting to be out there yesterday.
How'd you like it?
It was fun. Like,
cool facility.
Mean, of course, like you're being professional, and I think you take the fan out of it when you're in a job covering the Titans. But it was one of those moments where I had to like remind myself of like 12-year-old me growing up being a Titans fan would think it's so cool that you're doing your job from Titans training camp.
Go watch the video on Instagram that the Titans put out of Iomanner's catch.
Yeah.
You'll hear, whoa, that's me. And then you'll hear, good job, big boy. That is Derek Mason. Go watch it.
I will watch that in the break. I will say it's an adjustment trying to host a radio show and watch practice at the same time. And I said that to somebody during the break, and they were like, yeah, you can't watch while you're hosting. Because first off, I'm not allowed to say anything. Like, I can't react to what's going on. Right. But it's also so difficult to tell who's who from where we're sitting. Yeah. As evidenced by, I wrote down on the grid, I was like, Anthony Hill with a great interception yesterday. And you texted me, you're like, Anthony Hill didn't have a pick. Yeah. It was James Williams. I saw 53. It was 52.
He still had a good day yesterday. He had a pass breakup. He gets after it. So it was a fun day. Defensively, it was just fun to watch.
The defense dominated the day yesterday.
I'm sure you're from your vantage point, I'm sure it's a little bit more difficult, but it's still hard on the ground. Like, I have to check in on, TD. That dude's got magnetized. Like, he knows everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Even he missed some stuff yesterday. So some of it is just the viewing areas we're allowed as media. It's not as loose as it's been in the past, which is okay. That's fine. But as long as we're out there and we get to cover that and we get to see firsthand practice reps for guys, it's fun. It's a fun time. You're gonna love it out there this summer.
Yeah, no, it was great. Tony Pollard came up and talked with us after practice. If you missed that, go check it out on our YouTube page. He was great. And I was actually talking with Tony after we got off the air, and he was like, this is a great view you guys have up here. I was like, no, it's perfect. Like, I can see everything. Like, I can see the plays developing, and it is good to see the wide view. The issue is just telling who's who. I might have to bring some binoculars out there starting on Monday, because like there was a long run from one of the running backs. I thought it was Singleton.
It was Singleton.
Okay, it was Singleton. Yeah. I was at least right on that one. But no, it was great. You're right though. The defense did win the day.
It might have been Chestnut.
That was who I was between. I was like,
they both had two.
I was like, I know it's not Pollard. I know it's not Spears. So it's one of those two guys.
It's either a 2 or a 6 on that next to that 3.
Yeah.
I will say I did get a Go Big Blue from Mr. Wandell Robinson the other day.
Yeah.
Highlight of my life.
I love that. Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson, he came up and was walking over to the other setup over there up top for an interview. Yeah, he's not a big guy. Yeah. Like, and it is funny, the dichotomy of like seeing Femi Oladejo at the podium yesterday, just a man carved from stone.
I think Easton said it yesterday. If you were just to see him get off the bus and not know what he does for a living, you would think he's on steroids.
No, that was it was hilarious to see that picture of him. TD just posted on Twitter. He's like, he looks like one of the old He-Man action figures. Like that is what Femi Oladejo looks like. And then you see Wan'Dale Robinson. Not that Wan'Dale Robinson isn't in great shape, but it's like funny to look and see those guys and be like, they play the exact same sport.
Well, Dan Moore went up to the podium yesterday.
Yeah.
And I went, "Hi, Dan." Like looking straight up. "How's the weather up there?"
Yeah.
It's a big man right there.
Yeah, it was it's cool being out there. I'm excited. I think we're out there at least 2 or 3 times next week. So cool. Going to be fun to get to watch practice and see how this team develops. Day 1, I wasn't out there, but it did seem like it was back and forth. The offense won some, the defense won some. Yesterday, it was the defense. I mean, even from where I was and not being able to pay full attention, you could tell the defense was buzzing a little bit yesterday. There were a couple big plays for the offense. The Alec Iamaner catch. I mean, that was the one time I said, "Whoa!" Yeah. Thankfully, we were in a break at that point, but he just went up and over Cordell Flott. And made a huge play. So that's good to see from him. Calvin Ridley and Cam Ward, there was a deep shot in the first team period where Cam was a little bit off, maybe still shaking the rust off with Calvin Ridley, who hasn't been out there as much during the offseason. But that was the highlight of the day for the offense on what was otherwise a pretty lackluster day.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take away a marquee play for the offense, that was probably it. Or that Singletary run.
Yeah, or the Bryce Oliver bomb from Trubisky. That was a great throw.
I thought that was Bryce Oliver.
Yeah.
I was down in the south end zone. There was the huddle. You couldn't see who caught it.
I couldn't tell who it was until somebody tweeted it later. I knew Trubisky threw it. I just didn't know.
Great throw by him.
Yeah, he dropped it in the bucket.
Terry looked at me at one point, Willie, and D. Mason. He said, "Mitch Trubisky might be the greatest practice quarterback ever." I mean, he had his moments.
He threw a couple picks yesterday.
Yeah. The offense in general wasn't specifically spectacular yesterday.
Yeah.
Cam Ward, I'm sure you saw my notes that I put out as well as other people. He was worse yesterday than he was the day before.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had the red zone touchdown to Alec Iamaner, but accuracy was kind of the issue. I did like that he was kind of taking the short passes and the easy way out on some of these.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a situationally based thing. We talk about this all the time, how when you're in practice, especially in these early days, a lot of these offensive play calls are situationally based. Yeah. We want to put you in a situation to where you know what to do when this happens. So if the defense sends an all-out blitz and you don't have the time to read down the field and make the big play, dump it off to your running back. Dump it off to Wan'Dale Robinson. Dump it off to Gunnar Helm. Something like that. That was something I noticed. But defensively, I mean, the front line looked really good. Simmons was held a little bit quiet. The offensive line did their job on him. But, Gunnar Helm. Cedric Gray had the interception in 7-on-7. James Williams had the interception. Anthony Hill was all over the place. I'm worried that Kevin Winston is going to be Jarvis Brownlee just at safety because he's very physical.
Yeah.
And he's going to get called.
Get a lot of penalties.
Get called for some of that in the season. But I love the intensity that he plays with and the speed. So, yeah, I would say that the defense won yesterday. I mean, the team in blue was doing push-ups at the end of the day. So I think that's a clear evidence of what happened. But, yeah, kind of a lackluster day from the offense. But that's going to happen. It's day 2 of practice that at least we've seen. So you're going to have the early days and maybe some later down the line where, the defense looks a little bit better than the offense.
I think the defense in general is going to look a lot better than the offense during these practices. You hope that it's more competitive. Again, yesterday the pads weren't on. So, I mean, you can't really tell much about what's going on in the trenches, but you're right that the secondary had a nice day yesterday. The linebackers especially had a nice day. Cedric Gray had the interception on Cam Ward. That one, it was a little off target. Again, from my vantage point, I couldn't quite tell, but it went off Wan'Dale Robinson's hands, bounced into the air. Cedric Gray was able to keep it in on the sideline. I think that and the Calvin Ridley miss down the field were the 2 moments that I was like, yeah, that wasn't great from Cam Ward. Overall, I thought it was fine. Will Levis, I didn't see a ton from him. He did have one play that I noticed where he was trying to dump it off into the flat and just completely airmailed it to somebody like 5 feet over his head. But outside of that, I didn't notice much from Levis. Overall, the defense dominated. That's going to happen these days. The defense is more talented than the offense this year. You hope tomorrow maybe it's a bounce back day for the offense and you start to see some more explosive plays down the field.
Yeah, here's hoping. I mean, we've talked about this before. Early in practice, the defense is going to dominate just because the offense is getting adjusted to a system. And especially when pads come on next week, we'll see how the offensive line looks. Hopefully JC Latham is back in the fold. He was out there yesterday and in helmet, running around. He did some individual stuff, but he didn't get involved in the team period. So I'm very interested in the offensive line. You've got Robert Saleh kind of walked it back yesterday.
Yeah, the Volson thing.
Volson and Schlotman at center and right guard. We'll see how that goes because Slater was getting some rotation in there as well. And who's the swing tackle they were at?
Deculus is, he's been at right tackle.
He's not good. I'll tell you that much.
We'll learn more when the pads go on. But yeah, I think there's you're very happy that JC Latham is going to be back on the field starting tomorrow, was what Robert Saleh said. Hopefully we'll get a full practice tomorrow. And then when the pads come on Monday, he should be ready to go. We'll talk more about the offensive line coming up next. Jermaine Johnson had a comment at the podium yesterday about what he thinks is going to happen when the pads come on, and I can't help but agree with him. We'll get into that coming up next. More Titans talk throughout the first hour. We'll talk some college football today. We'll get into some baseball, not only the trade deadline coming up. I was listening to Joe and Teresa talking before us about possible expansion coming here to Nashville. Jeff Passan saying it might be a done deal. We'll get into all of that throughout the show today. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier with you on your Friday morning. Next man up, 102.5 The Game.
Just kind of no hype. Just give me my helmet. Like, I just want to go play football, and I want to be myself and be the player I know I am. I don't really care about potential talk anymore. I got to go do something this year. And I believe I'm top 5, top 10 in my position in the NFL, but that's not the case statistically. And I got to go change that this year.
That was Jermaine Johnson yesterday talking about his start to training camp and what his hope is for this year. Back in a Robert Saleh defense. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier with you on this Friday morning. Connor, you've been out there seeing Jermaine Johnson go to work. It seemed like it was a bounce-back day for Dan Moore against Johnson yesterday, but day one, big story was Johnson kind of cleaned his clock early on. Again, not wearing pads, so still early in the trenches. But Jermaine Johnson is I think, an X factor for this team because he hasn't been that star pass rusher in the past with the Jets. His best season did come under Robert Saleh before the Achilles injury, him having a bounce back year. And he said 10 to 12 sacks. If he gets to like 8 to 10 sacks, I think that would be a huge year for the Titans, given what else they have on the defensive line.
That's a new contract for him. I mean, he's playing on a contract year. This is a year he's trying to get that extension. This is his 5th year in the league, I think. And obviously he was flipped over from New York. So, yeah, I don't know about the top 5 in the league comment. Maybe top 10. I mean, I would have to go through a list or something to make sure. Statistically, he did acknowledge that hasn't been the case so far. So I'm here to change that. But through 2 days of practice, I've been impressed. He's fast. He gets after it. He's got that mentality of, okay, you got me on this one. I'm going to get you on the next 3. So I like Jermaine Johnson so far. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out in the regular season, especially when they play here. But so far, I mean, Jermaine Johnson performing pretty well in training camp. On the other side, the other guy, I don't think he's practiced yet.
Yeah, Meatloaf, so I don't think has been on the practice field. We'll see. It's too early. I did say the other day, and it's, again, not saying this is right now, but it has a little bit of DGB Dennis Kelly feel to me, of guy you picked in the 2nd round who's really talented, but maybe just didn't have his head where it needed to be on the field, off the field. And so you trade him away and get somebody who's more of a proven commodity, and it ends up working out in your favor. We'll have to see how they perform in the regular season, but I do like what we've seen from Jermaine Johnson so far. He said he was built for this system that Robert Saleh runs. TDE said yesterday when he joined us at camp that Johnson's a better athlete than he thought he was initially. So I'm excited to see what he does when the pads come on. He had some thoughts on that too. He said the offense doesn't know what's coming when the pads come on. And I think he's right. I think Monday might be a big wake-up call about possibly how good the defensive line could be, but also how bad this offensive line could be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ready to take this is the worst offensive line in Titans history we've ever seen 2 days into camp approach. But, yeah, I mean, it's a concern. I think I told Frazier this the other day. They are a 6 on my concernometer out of 10 right now. That could change. That could go up. That could go down. If JC Latham gets back in there and things start to improve, then, I'll be less concerned. But JC Latham's got his own concerns in that outright. I mean, can he get on the field, and the mental makeup of him? Can he get into a place where he's not making crucial mistakes individually? I don't know. We'll have to see. But as far as Jermaine Johnson goes, I agree with TD in that he's a much better athlete than I expected him to be. Man, he's fast. I mean, look at how in shape he is, too. He was asked about that yesterday. I think Paul might have asked him that.
Yeah.
How it feels coming off the knee a year removed from the injury. And he goes, I'm on fire right now. I'm the best I've ever felt as an athlete. So it's exciting. I can't wait to see. It reminds me of his days at Florida State. Remember, I think he had like a 10.5 sack season his last year at Florida State before he got drafted. So maybe he's figured it out. And, sometimes a change of scenery is good for a player. And he mentioned that he's made for this defense. Robert Saleh made this defense for him, and he made himself for Robert Saleh. So if I trust anyone to unlock Jermaine Johnson, it's his former coach and the guy that created the defensive system, and Robert Saleh.
Yeah, with Florida State his senior year, 12 sacks, 18 tackles for loss. He had a huge year, ended up getting drafted in the first round. This is a guy with a whole lot of talent. He just hasn't been able to unlock it except for the 1 year. Again, it was a 7.5 sack season. It's not like he had 15 sacks in that second year in the league. The Achilles injury, week 2 here in Nashville, has kind of stunted his growth. This is a big year for him, contract year. I'm excited to see what he does because the interior of the offensive line looks strong. You've got great pass rushers. You've got great run stuffers. The edge, you need somebody to step up and be a legitimate threat out there because you're going to get a lot of one-on-ones on the tackles. They're not going to be sending help out to help on Jermaine Johnson when you've got Jeffrey Simmons and John Franklin Myers in the middle.
What's the beauty of a 4-3 defense too?
Yeah.
You have that extra guy off the edge.
Well, and I love that the Robert Saleh quote. We talked about this yesterday too, of if I drop a defensive end into coverage, Aaron White-Cotton might blow this building up. Like that's great to hear. It's an attacking front. Basically, they tell those guys with their hand in the dirt, go hit the quarterback. And when you don't have to think about all that stuff, and I think this could help a guy like Femi too, of last year, it was like, all right, sometimes I'm going after the passer. Sometimes I'm dropping into coverage. Now it's like you put your hand in the dirt on passing downs, you go get the quarterback. I think simplifying it and just telling those guys to go attack could really help this defensive front.
When you have a minute next week, your mission is to come down with me and watch Aaron White-Cotton coach for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I can't repeat any single word he says on these airwaves just because it's not safe, but he coaches with such intensity and gets those guys fired up. They call it family reunion. I don't know if you saw this yesterday. When they go to individual work with the defensive line, they all huddle up, celebrate, and it's family reunion. So the passion and the energy that Aaron White-Cotton coaches with, I think is going to elevate this defensive line. They love him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure now I'm blanking on my words. Jermaine Johnson talked about Aaron White-Cotton yesterday and how much of an impact he's made on the defensive line. They love him. So that is probably my favorite staff hire that Robert Saleh's made. Again, it's his system, but positional coaches are almost as important as the guys calling the plays. They're the ones developing them. So Aaron White-Cotton coaches with such intensity that I think it works well for this group. And I think that intensity can rub off on Johnson and elevate him as a player in this defense.
Yeah, I'm sure you saw it yesterday, but I just saw the clip TD posted of when Jeffrey Simmons just almost decapitated the dummy that they were hitting in practice. Yeah. Like the celebration from Aaron White-Cotton was awesome. So I think the coaching staff has proven to be an upgrade. We've talked about the adults in the room a lot. Dan Moore had the comment yesterday of this coaching staff feels professional and it feels organized.
That's another intense coach. I know Frazier loves Carmen Brasilio.
Yeah.
He is a bad dude. And when I mean bad dude, I mean this entire offensive line respects him as a coach.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they didn't with Bill Callahan, but you know, it goes back to what I mentioned on Tuesday about the culture that each one of these head coaches is instilling in each one of the position groups. Then you have Saleh to kind of oversee all that. Back to what we were talking about on Tuesday.
Yeah, no. And I do think that the level of experience being raised raises the level of professionalism. You've got the organization, and some people are taking that as a direct shot at Brian Callahan, that Dan Moore said that. You can take it for what you will. I was reminded, somebody put out there that like Arden Keyes said very similar things when Vrabel left, of like how much he loves the Callahan staff versus the Vrabel staff.
Yeah.
So you can't really take that and say, oh, look at how great it is. But I do think from what we've seen out there, this coaching staff does have a feel for what they want their teams to do, whether it's the position coaches, whether it's the offensive coordinator and Brian Dable, the head coach and Robert Saleh. I think there is a whole lot of structure to this team that maybe wasn't there under Callahan.
Yeah. I mean, I love the staff so far. I want to see them on a regular game or out on the field and see how it works out throughout the season. But at least being down there with practice, you can see and hear the intensity. In fact, yesterday they told us to, during special teams, mute your audio so no one can hear what they say. I think some of that was they were doing a little bit of install.
Right. Yeah. There might be some terminology that you didn't want to get out there.
Right. But they say some potty words, some words that we can't say.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I like that.
I think that might be why they put us up top on the balcony. Don't want the mics picking any of that up.
That might be part of it. Yes.
615-737-1025 is our phone number, our phone and text line, driven by Wilson County Hyundai, online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. You can be part of the conversation at 615-737-1025. Keep up with Titans training camp right here with 1025 The Game for the latest updates, player interviews, and more as we get you prepped for the upcoming Titans season. Coverage of Titans training camp is presented by Tennessee Brewworks, Permanent Energy, and the Music City Kickoff Game. More Titans talk on the other side. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, next man up. 1025 The Game. Today, the Nashville Sounds take on the Charlotte Knights at First Horizon Park. First pitch is at 6:35, and you can catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, and Social Cantina. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier with you.
He's 2 for 2 already, man.
He is.
He's coming.
Dr. Crane, everybody with the bump music is great. Everybody does a great job. Dr. Crane might be in a league of his own, though. Nothing against Parker Kelly. Parker does a great job. But Nick Frazier knows what he's doing back there.
Thank you. It just comes with the 4 years of experience. 4.5 years.
Yeah,
that is true.
You're a vet. Yeah. That's what it is.
He's a grizzled veteran back there.
4 years is a long time in radio, man. I'm coming up on my 4 years in 2 months.
Yeah, I'm about at like 4.5 because my anniversary is in May. So we're kind of already at the half.
There you go.
Not really half, but
over 4.
Yeah, over 4.
Dr. Crane killing it back
4
there.
4.25, whatever.
Killing it behind the board. Yeah, we could do it in months. What would that be? 50 months or something like that?
Like how they do with babies?
Yeah.
I always laugh when mothers are like, yeah, my baby is 236 weeks. And I'm like, just say she's like 3.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's there becomes a point where you move on from weeks to months. I would say probably
your second birthday.
I would say you go from weeks to months at like 3 months, right? Like you stop saying 12 weeks. You start
weeks
saying
to months.
3 months.
Yeah.
And then I think at 2, that's when you stop with months. Like you can say 18 months.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe even like once you get to 1.5, I think you're done. 14 months, I think is fine. 15 months. When you get to 18 months, that's when it's done. They're 1.5 at that point, or they're almost 2.
Yeah, it reminds me of that scene of Grown Ups where Chris Rock goes, "Oh, how old's your son? 48 months."
Oh, yeah.
So 4.
Yeah.
When did you stop using 1/2?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. When do you stop caring about a half birthday? Like 8, maybe 9?
Yeah.
I think when you're in like early elementary school, kindergarten, I think it's still cool to be like, oh, I'm 5.5 or something, or I'm 6.5.
You guys celebrate that?
When I was younger, like it was like you would make it somewhat of a big deal. Like not like you'd have like a party or something, but like
you'd acknowledge it. Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, it's my half birthday.
A trip to Buffalo Wild Wings. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe, I don't know if you'd go out to dinner for your half birthday, but like maybe do something. I don't know.
Never forget our trip to Buffalo Wild Wings that one day.
Yes, we did.
Second. Yeah, no, my first beer.
Wow. I can't believe we treated you for that.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations to you for giving me my first beer.
Chad on the text line does say the baby thing makes sense when you're a parent. Those weeks and months make a difference. That's true. And none of us are parents yet.
That we know of.
Knock on wood. But I guess maybe it's different once you get there. But I would say just logically, that's where I'm going to say, I think 3 months is when you stop saying weeks. I think 1.5 years is when you stop saying months.
Anyways, back to sports.
Back to Titans. JC Latham coming off the PUP list. We talked about this a little bit earlier. It's massive. And I'm still very concerned about the offensive line. And we talk about it almost every single day, but I really think it could end up being an outright disaster. Center and right guard, beside the point, JC Latham has not proven that he can stay healthy. And as we talked about, Austin Deculus was getting the snaps at right tackle. Whether it's him, whether it's Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon, it's not going to look good. And so I'm JC Latham only missing 2 days of practice, or I guess 1 day. He was out there yesterday, although wasn't working in with the team. I think that is going to be massive to have him back. And if he can stay healthy, it does make you feel a lot better about this offensive line, but you're still one injury away from a complete and utter disaster on the right side.
Well, healthy is just the first step for him, in my opinion. If he's healthy, great. Now it's time to get your game together, because there were too many times last year for JC Latham where I looked at him and his feet weren't set the right way and he was offsides, or he got called for a holding because he couldn't to use a who is it? The anchorman.
Oh, Ron Burgundy.
He didn't know what to do with his hands.
Yeah.
So it's mental for him. He can't stay out of his own way.
Yeah.
We talk about how much Nick Saban gushed over JC Latham. Joe and I talked about this yesterday. Nick Saban, he goes over the top for a lot of his former Alabama players. He went way over the top for J.C. Latham, basically calling him one of the best players he's ever coached.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. So I've told you this before. I've said this on my show. I've said this on a lot of other shows. I need a Peter Skoronski-like jump from J.C. Latham this year. Otherwise, you haven't proven to me that you are worth being taken at number 7 overall. This is a big year for him because this year they decide, do we pick you up for a 5th-year option or just let you ride it out? I don't know. This is a massive year for him to be away from a bunch of 5th graders getting to the quarterback over the Titans offensive line. So we'll see. But J.C. Latham being healthy for him is just the first step.
Yeah, and I think you could maybe gauge J.C. Latham's performance based on what the Titans do next offseason. If you don't pick up his 5th-year option, disaster.
Yeah.
Like 7th overall pick, if you're not even picking up his 5th-year option, that is a horrible, horrible decision to pick him. And obviously, it just hasn't worked out. That would mean he was bad or he was very injured this year. If you pick up his 5th-year option, but aren't really looking for the long-term extension yet, that probably means he was fine this year. It was, all right, he took a step forward, maybe not a big step forward, and we're going to see, we get another year to figure out what he's going to be. I would hope that we're talking about J.C. Latham getting a long-term extension a year from now.
Of course.
Like we're talking about Peter Skoronski. Any day now, he could get paid. He could get that big deal.
Today's his birthday, by the way.
It is his birthday. Yeah, happy birthday. 25 for Peter Skoronski, I believe.
I don't know.
Maybe 26.
I know what a good birthday present for him would be from the Titans.
Yeah, $25 million a year. I think that would do for Peter Skoronski. We should be having that conversation around J.C. Latham next year. You were picked 7th overall. The Titans have been so desperate for good tackle play. He needs to have, like you said, a Skoronski-like jump where we're talking about saying, all right, this is a guy that is going to be your right tackle of the future. Again, you've invested so much in this offensive line. $82 million on the left tackle spot. 11th overall pick at left guard. You had the highest, at the time, highest paid center in the league, or highest paid free agent center in the league in Lloyd Cushenberry. And then you had the 7th overall pick at right tackle. That doesn't even include all the picks that have missed and are no longer on the team. You've invested so much. That's the biggest investment you've given. 7th overall pick for J.C. Latham. You passed up on Brock Bowers to take J.C. Latham. He's got to hit. He's got to hit. And this is the year that he's got to prove that he's the guy.
We got to see a lot from him. I mean, speaking of Lloyd Cushenberry, I just found out where he is yesterday.
Buffalo. Yep.
On like a $1.5 million 1-year contract.
Yeah. I had no problem moving on from him. I think you could have said, all right, well, he was coming off the Achilles. Maybe he has the big bounce back year in year 2 removed from it. The thing I keep coming back to is they said he failed the physical with the shoulder injury. So I wonder if there was more below the surface that we just didn't know about. He wasn't great last year. Would he have been better this year if he's healthy than Austin Schlottmann? I don't know. Like, we're going to find out when Austin Schlottmann takes a snap. Based on what we've seen, it doesn't seem like that's a huge competition at center.
No, it seems like it's
his spot.
Yeah. Right guard seems like more of a competition.
Right. They're kind of rotating.
Volson, I mean, you obviously know he's had experience, but it was with a horrible Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, and he was hurt all of last year. And then Slater's got no starting experience because he was a 6th-round pick last year. So we'll see about that one. But yeah, you're right. I think center is more of a that's his. I don't feel comfortable trotting Pat Coogan out there yet.
Yeah, and he's been kind of running with the 2s. So, I mean, we thought Andre James might be competing for that spot, and I haven't heard anything about him. So, yeah, it seems like Schlottmann's the guy at center.
It is weird how you'll hear a player does something good, and then the next day they're cut. Like,
Sanusi Kane picked off Levis and then got cut less than 24 hours later.
Poor guy. I hope he lands on his feet.
It said something about injury, like waived with an injury. So maybe he got hurt towards the end of practice. I have no idea.
He went out with a bang.
Yeah. Don't want to speculate, but I will say before we wrap up on yesterday's practice, the linebackers really stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Hill did not have a pick, although I thought he did for a second there, but
he almost did.
He was good. He had a near interception. James Williams, that was the pick I thought that Hill had, and it was just a great job of dropping into the passing lane, picking it up. He would have set up the offense with a really nice spot, like inside the 20 with the return. And then Cedric Gray, I think the one thing that you look at with Cedric Gray is, yeah, he tackles, he gets a lot of tackles, but he doesn't make the big impact plays. He doesn't turn the football over. He was in a perfect position, got the feet in on the deflection from Wan'Dale Robinson on the pick. So I think you're really pleased with what you saw from the linebacker specifically yesterday.
I mean, I feel really good about the inside linebacker position. Cody Barton, I think your two starters are probably going to be Barton and Gray.
Yeah.
Just because I like Anthony Hill and he'll get some rotation in there, but I don't think he's ready to be that guy.
Yeah.
Gray will wear the green dot, I bet.
Yeah, Gray or Barton. I think it could be either of them.
They could both handle it. But, yeah, I think those two you feel really good about. Gray's going to make a tackle no matter where he is on the field, it feels like. Barton is the kind of guy that you can drop back in coverage and he can maybe make a play. I mean, we saw him had a pick 6 last year doing that very thing. So
Chargers?
Think so.
Somewhere around
it was early.
Yeah, it was like mid-season.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it is the Chargers. But inside linebacker is a position that I feel really good about. And not as good as, defensive tackle or anything like that. But I feel really good about all defensive positional depth. Corner is probably at the bottom of that list just because I don't think you have depth there. I think you have two really good guys in Flott and Taylor. And then, maybe Williams under them. Other than that, not sure. Safety, you've got Hooker and Winston. I feel good about those two.
Tony Adams, probably a third safety.
Yeah, we'll see about Micah Robinson on corner and Marcus Harris and guys like that. But inside backer, I think, is a good spot to be in.
Yeah, I've said it before. I think you feel really good about the starting 11 on defense at all three levels. I think it's just about injuries occur every season. You never know how many, you never know how severe, but there are going to be injuries. Is the depth there outside of the defensive line? The defensive line is loaded with depth. Linebacker, can Anthony Hill step in if necessary? Is it Diabate is the other guy who's kind of working in there?
Mo Diabate?
Yeah. So he's got an opportunity to make some plays, and then they've got in the secondary. Again, the top line talent is there. You worry about the depth as you move forward here. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you have any thoughts on the Titans training camp practice day 2 wrapped up yesterday, tomorrow open to the fans. Monday, the pads come on. So excited for that. We'll wrap up with some football talk here to wrap up hour number 1. We'll get into some college football coming up at the top of the hour as talking season is officially over. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, next man up. 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier. Dr. Crane really crushing it this morning.
I know he's going to the iPod Nano with this one.
Yeah, this reminds me of, God, did this song come out in like 2011? Somewhere around there?
Maybe a little earlier.
Maybe a little earlier than that.
Great I think song. So, yeah. I think maybe like around the 2009, 2010.
Sean Kingston.
Yeah.
One of the great artists of our generation.
He had, what, 2 hits? 3 hits?
He had more than that. He had that one.
He had Beautiful Girls.
Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
Oh, yeah. That was
with Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
That song with what? Ayaz, right?
Yeah, like Take You There. Is that a song with him? Yeah.
That's
so
right.
yeah. So he had a handful of hits.
Yeah.
Handful of hits. That one probably the most famous one.
That's a good era.
Yeah, that we're gonna get some people disagreeing, but we grew up with some good music. Not like I agree that not as good as like classic rock, all that kind of stuff, but
I mean, the 80s and 90s are superior, but
I do think that the 2000s music across all genres was solid.
It's solid. Good. It was one of the most competitive eras because remember, you got Ludacris, you have Nelly, 50 Cent, you have
it's versatile.
Yeah, it is very versatile, but like that was the prime era of like rap music, and it was very hard to bounce off that to hip hop rap.
Well, that era of rock too, like you had Daughtry was really
like
good.
3 Doors Down and like Creed and all that kind of like. Again, not as good as classic rock like 70s, 80s, 90s, but I do think in terms of the variety of music you could choose from, that was a great era because there still was good rock music and there was decent pop music and there was good hip hop and there was good country. Like I feel like we've kind of watered it all down and there's less variety coming out in music these days.
Yes.
It's like you're either a country artist or you're a hip hop pop artist. And it's like, those are your 2 buckets that you can go into. And so I'm getting nostalgic thinking about the music of our childhood.
It's a good era, man.
You
guys are a little bit older than me, but I mean, I remember that stuff on the radio back when we listened to musical radio.
Yeah.
No offense to them, but I mean,
yeah,
I get everything I want on my phone.
That is true. Yeah. My wife always makes fun of me because I never know any new songs because I just listen to sport. I listen to our station in the car, and I'm like, I don't care to listen to.
I've gotten
radio.
there too.
Yeah,
because
like
now having my own show,
it's like
I take some of what you guys say.
Right, I want to hear what other people are saying and like be able to play off that. So, 4312 says, "Give me prime Smash Mouth in the early 2000s, All Star."
And now I'm thinking of
the Shrek soundtracks are just electric.
Did you ever see that episode of Impractical Jokers where Q just randomly goes up to someone, want to rock out to some Smash Mouth with me, bro?
I'm sure I know another Smash Mouth song, but I can't think of one right now other than All Star. I'm sure I do know another one, but
I just listen to Shrek. I'll figure it out.
Dustin from Hopkinsville says, "How did we get so lucky to have Creed and Nickelback in the same generation?" Yeah,
Joe Rexroad
Joe Rexroad was thrilled with that. I agree, overhated. They've got some good music. Nickelback. Burn It to the Ground.
Oh,
that was on one of like the NHL video game soundtracks. I remember like bobbing my head as an 11-year-old.
The official theme song of Monday Night Raw in that era too.
Oh, really?
In like 2013.
It's a great song.
It's great.
A couple news and notes here around the NFL before we wrap up hour number 1. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, a report that the NFL rivalry uniforms coming out August 25th.
Okay.
So we are 3.5 weeks away from seeing what the Titans' new alternate uniform is going to look like.
They're going Navy.
I think it's going to be Navy with the light blue Music City is going to be the logo, or that's going to be a big part of it. That's what it seems like. I think it was 4312 texted in about how he hates the City Connect uniforms. This is basically what these are. They're the City Connect uniforms of the NFL. I think it's going to be Navy with light blue accents. Maybe that the like alternate TN logo that they released.
Oh, inside the football.
And then Music City is going to be somewhere. That would be my guess.
With light blue accents.
Maybe we get a curveball.
Maybe. I do find it funny that the Titans players at practice, they wear the blue and the white, the light blue and the white.
Yeah.
Do you notice what the coaches wear?
Navy.
All of them wear Navy.
Yeah, no, that is true.
So maybe I highly doubt that they're teasing to the media, hey guys, this is what we're going to be wearing. But it is something to look at. I think they're going to integrate the Navy in some fashion.
Yeah, I mean, they said, I think it was Burke Nihill, when asked about the uniforms after the release, said, just give us a little bit of time on the Navy. So I do think it's going to be Navy with light blue accents. But
I'm good with Navy.
We'll see.
That's the Titans era we know.
So I do remember last year they put out like little teasers. I'm sure you remember this. It was like 10-second videos for each of the 8 teams getting these uniforms. And it gave you a hint of what the color scheme was going to be and what it would look like to tease the full reveal coming up. I wonder if we get one of those soon, which would probably give away that it is going to be Navy.
Yeah.
As much as I've been waiting on a red uniform for the Titans, I do think that going to light blue and white as your primary colors, if you want to stay the two-tone blue, you got to keep the Navy in circulation. So I'm okay with a Navy rivalry uniform.
Yeah, I'm good with that. All Navy, though. Don't change up the pants. Don't give me anything. Just commit.
I agree. Navy helmet. Navy. Do we go Navy? Yeah, Navy helmet. Yeah. Navy helmet with light blue logo. Navy jersey. Navy pants. Commit. I think that's probably what it ends up being.
Commit to it. It's fine. I do want to see. They didn't do this with the uniform unveiling, but I think it would honestly be my favorite combo of theirs. White helmet, obviously. Light blue top. Light blue pants. White socks. I think that would look really good.
I am excited. Like, I know we've seen the uniforms in the reveal and in pictures. I'm excited to see them on the field. Oh, yeah. I think they are going to look really good. The helmets look great, by the way. Like, looking out onto the field, the white helmets. The one thing the Titans got really wrong when they switched the uniforms back in 2018 was going away from the white helmets. And I think everybody's learned their lesson. The white helmet is just great.
I mean, it takes everything in my power. Try standing on the sideline.
Right.
It takes everything in my power not to go up and just touch it, just to feel the power.
I love the white helmets. I think it looks so good. I think it's great. A couple other things from last night, wide receiver news. Deebo Samuel back to the 49ers. How about it? I think he's still got a little bit left in the tank. He's not going to be Deebo that was with the Niners 3 years ago. I think this probably spells bad news for Ricky Pearsall. I saw a report the other day that he might not play very much this year with the knee injury. So it looks like Deebo Samuel being brought in to add some depth to that room. Not a big deal. And I do think he still does fit what Kyle Shanahan likes to do on offense.
Yeah, he's versatile. I mean, if you were to tell me 3 years ago that the San Francisco wide receiver core was going to be Deebo Samuel and Mike Evans, I would say, oh my God, they're going to the Super Bowl. But I know it's interesting. I wonder how many targets he's going to get compared to Mike Evans, because Mike Evans is going to be your number one, right?
Yeah.
As old as he is, he's still a high-end wide receiver. So it is interesting. I don't think he's going to make as much of an impact as he used to, kind of like you said. But, you can always go home is the saying.
Right.
He, in fact, did go home after 1 year with the Commanders.
Yeah, you are right that, 4 years ago, Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, that's a loaded roster. Now they're a little bit past their prime, all of them. McCaffrey and Kittle are still very good players. Evans still a very good player, but not the same as they were 3 or 4 years ago. But that Niners team is gearing up to try and make a run this year in a very tough NFC West. Last thing, Chris Olave. 4 years, $132 million. Very good player, but I think this does show you Carnell Tate, if he's just a 1,000-yard guy, which is basically what Olave has been in his career, you're still going to have to pay him a ridiculous amount of money.
Well, you're not best. You're next. I mean, would you rather pay him and have that constant on your roster, or let him walk and go somewhere else and then take his game to the next level?
Right.
I honestly think some of it is they believe that they have their quarterback in Tyler Shuck, and maybe they think that's going to help him out. But Olave hasn't been healthy enough, too. That's part of his problem. He can't stay out of the blue tent. He's had a lot of concussion issues, I think.
Yeah, he missed a lot of time in 2024, and that was the year, I want to say he only had like 400 yards receiving, something like that.
He's good. I mean, he's an Ohio State receiver. You're getting a safe bet there.
He is coming off his best season as a pro, 100 catches, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. And that's a season where Spencer Rattler was starting part of the year. And then you got a rookie second-round pick in Tyler Shuck. So I understand paying him, and you're right. It's not who's best, it's who's next. But man, that is a lot of money for Chris Olave. 4 years, $132 million. That's what, $34 million a year? That is a big chunk of change.
You're not best, you're next.
Yeah.
We don't want him to go anywhere else, so we're going to lock him up to keep him here.
Right. It's a player who's probably a top 20 wide receiver in the league, somewhere in that range.
I mean, rank him in terms of Ohio State receivers. He might be in the halfway mark. You take JSN every day.
Yeah, JSN I think is obviously number one.
I would argue Egbuka,
you kind of got to see what he does in year 2. He's coming off a really good rookie season, but you just don't know the longevity there. Garrett Wilson with the Jets, I think just super talented in a bad situation with New York quarterback-wise, basically the entire time he's been there.
Yeah.
But Chris Olave, good player. And I get it. You got to pay what the market tells you you're going to pay, but $34 million, there was some sticker shock for me on that one.
Terry McLaurin?
Yep.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin with the Commanders, very good player. So Carnell Tate could be coming up in a few years. We'll see what he can do in year 1 after being the 4th overall pick. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'd love to hear from you. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1025 The Game for live shows and exclusive content and chat with us there. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, next man up, hour number 2 coming up next year on 1025 The Game. Second hour on this Friday, Next Man Up, 102.5, The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Going to get into some college football here in the second hour. We'll get back into the Titans later. Why is it a dark day?
I was just informed by Parker Kelly that sideline reporter Molly McGrath is moving from college football to the NFL.
Wow.
It's a dark day.
So she'll be on Monday Night Football?
Yes, probably.
So I guess maybe Laura Rutledge with her expanded role might not be able to do that anymore, or because they're not doing double headers anymore.
No, unless they do ESPN doesn't do the Saturday games. They just do Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. But congratulations to Molly McGrath.
It's heartbreaking because she's my favorite, but we'll see her. We'll still see her every week.
Add Taylor McGregor in the mix because she does some sideline reporting for ESPN.
There's a lot of good sideline reporters.
ESPN does it right with sideline reporters.
One of my favorites, and she's around a lot doing some of the Vandy games, Alyssa Lang. She does a really good job. She's over at a lot of the women's basketball stuff with the SEC too, SEC tournament, and some of the others. So she does a great job too. But
she's great. Holly Rose really good at her job.
Yeah, Holly Rose awesome.
Molly's great. Katie George is good. I like her. Let's see.
You really
becoming a big Aaron Dolan fan as days go by.
Does she do sideline?
No,
she's like the betting content for ESPN.
I don't know what she talks about. I don't listen.
Now I think it's difficult being a sideline reporter. I've done it. Like you have to kind of toe the line between being a reporter, like reporting injuries, news, but also being a really good storyteller, like Tom Rinaldi, like the stuff that he's able to do on sideline. So
yeah,
it is a very difficult balance to have. You are a reporter and you have to be able to get the information that's available to you. Quarterback gets injured. Go find out what's happening, how long they're going to be out, but also be able to tell like heartwarming stories about these players and humanize them. So it's in a good spot overall. ESPN, Fox, NBC, they all do a good job.
I'm lonely. Can you tell?
That's one word for it.
Yep.
Chase did text in and wanted to give his thoughts on a possible Titans alternate uniform. He said that they're going to do navy for the rivalries this year, which I agree. There's been teasers for it. I think that makes the most sense. He says he thinks there's going to be a third helmet next year that could be light blue or potentially red, eventually with a red top. I've wanted a red jersey pretty much my entire life for the Titans. They used to sell the Eddie George red ones. They sold the red ones in the new uniform. I had a Marcus Mariota red one when I was growing up. So I would love a red uniform. I think that would make the most sense. So your main ones, light blue and white that we've already seen. Your rivalry uniforms is the navy, and you get a third alternate that's the red. Masterpiece.
Perfect. Down to the last minute detail. Look at that.
So we'll see. August 25th, again, is when the rivalry uniforms are officially going to be released. We'll see if we get a teaser in the next couple of weeks ahead of that. Let's get into some college football here. Talking season officially over. Big Ten Media Days ended yesterday. I wrote down on the grid much less of a buzz in Chicago than in Tampa, and maybe that's just because of where we are in the SEC footprint. And then Curt Cignetti spoke yesterday and changed all of that. Man, Curt Cignetti pulling no punches about the SEC and quote-unquote whining about not being the best team in the best conference in the country anymore.
Curt Cignetti, man.
Curt Cignetti, that man is always fun when he gets in front of a mic.
He's got no filter. I mean, he does. He's professional, but he's going to say what he wants to say when he wants to say it. And I kind of respect it, honestly. When you win the way that he's won, I mean, he's defending national champion. He just took Indiana of all teams to 16-0.
Yep.
And won a national championship with them.
Literally the losingest team in college football until he got there.
He could talk all he wants now. He's earned it, in my opinion. Do I agree with some of the things he said? No, but I'm kind of from afar, I like the Big Ten SEC beef that's going on. I mean, Brett Bielema was doing it earlier in the week.
They're living in 2005.
which I don't think that means too much coming from him, being as he's a failed SEC coach with Arkansas.
And like 2005 is way too far back. Like even look back 5 years and the SEC was winning almost all of the football national championships. Yeah. It was Alabama, it was LSU, it was Georgia. Yeah, the last 3 years it's been the Big Ten, but 2005 is a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
The SEC dominated for about 15 years after that too.
I mean, I don't want to compare Cignetti to Saban because I don't think there will ever be another Nick Saban in terms of greatness and winning culture and attitude. But some of the things he does and says, I just get Saban-esque vibes from him.
Yeah.
Yesterday was one of those examples where he just cuts a shoot promo on the SEC, just talking about how whiny they are. I thought it was funny. I really like the beef that's going on here.
Yeah, and Curt Cignetti, I always wonder how it took so long for him to be discovered as this great coach. I mean, I guess it shows you everybody has their own path. Sometimes you are able to break through when you're 30 and, coach for 35 years is one of the best. But for Curt Cignetti, how old is he? Like 68?
Yeah, he's pushing 70. I know that.
That is
65.
Okay, 65. So he's not as old, but
he's on an 8-year contract.
Yeah. I mean, I think he gets through that, but once you get into your early 70s, your late 70s or mid 70s, that's when other schools are going to start using your age against you. That's what happened with Virginia Tech for a long time, was when Beamer was getting towards the end. It was like, why would you go play there? He's going to be gone in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to retire.
Same with Spurrier.
Right. Like, I think that you can use that against coaches. So we'll see how long it goes for Curt Cignetti, but he is so much fun to listen to. What he's done at Indiana is just unbelievable. My favorite quote from him yesterday, I want to say it might have been with Barstool. They asked him, like, how is it going, like, trying to change the mindset of your team from being the hunter to the hunted? You're now the national championship. You got a target on your back. And he responded with, I bought a bigger gun. Like that. How did it go from being the hunter to the hunted? I bought a bigger gun. Like, just awesome from Curt Cignetti.
He's kind of a badass.
He is. I wonder how long it goes before he starts being disliked, because when you win enough,
he was disliked. I mean, the whole Google me thing with Indiana.
Oh, I love that.
Well, everyone was like, who the hell is this guy?
Right. I think it came off as super arrogant for a guy getting his first chance at the Power 4 level as a head coach, and then he backed it up. I loved everything from Curt Cignetti as he took that job, coming in and basically like Will Stein. Yeah. Why is it going to turn around? It's me. And Google me. I win. Love it. I do wonder, again, with everybody, you win enough and people start to dislike you. It happened with Brady. It happened with Saban. It's going to happen at some point if they continue to be a national championship contender every single year. But right now, I still do believe that they are a very well-liked, still even after winning a national championship, viewed as an underdog story at Indiana.
It is an underdog story, but they're a national power now.
No, they are. But I still think
recruiting at a national power. They got the number 1 receiver in the class of 2027.
Right. He bought a bigger gun.
He did. They're running the portal. I mean, I'm curious to see the quarterback transition from Mendoza to Hoover. We'll see how that goes. Sonny Dykes does not like Josh Hoover too much. He keeps crapping on him for no reason.
He's like, we lost a bunch of games because of Josh Hoover.
So, okay. But I am curious to see, similar to how it was last year. Okay, Indiana made the playoff the year before. What can they do now? They go off and win a national championship. All right, they've gone undefeated. They won a national championship. Now with the target on your back, what do you do this time? Yeah, and I think the Big Ten is going to be better than it was last year, actually.
Yeah.
Ohio State is back. I think Oregon's loaded up. They're poised to maybe go off and go on a national championship run. I think Michigan will be better. I think Penn State may have taken a step back. I think Washington will be a little bit better than they were last year with what's his name? Demond Williams at quarterback.
Yeah.
So the Big Ten's going to be a deep conference this year. I'm excited. USC, we'll see what they do.
Mayava,
yeah. Well, Big Ten's going to be fun this year.
Yeah. We'll get into a little bit of who could be the national title contenders there. And I want to talk about Oregon because it's a school that has never been able to get over the hump. Can they do it this year with Dante Moore returning at quarterback? Quickly, though, Dr. Crane found the audio of Curt Cignetti and asking about being the hunted versus the hunter.
Yes.
How are you going to handle being the hunted now that you're at the top? It's like now you got a big target on your back.
I bought a bigger gun.
That's a great answer. Okay, all right. That's you.
I also like that we kind of passed.
You
over
just won the championship again. Like you're going to win again with an answer like that. Yeah.
That only just fueled my hatred for Barstool. So
that was part of my take. I don't mind those guys, Big Cat and PFT. Like I think
they kind of just yell over each other.
There are Barstool guys that kind of annoy me.
His name's Dave Portnoy.
Portnoy. It's a love-hate relationship. I think he's funny, but also, like there's some things there I don't love.
There are people that are hired there that you can just look at them and know why they're hired.
Oh yeah.
I will not get into detail on that, but
like Brandon Walker kind of annoys me sometimes.
That's Frazier's boy.
No,
you're not a big Brandon Walker guy.
He single-handedly lost that Texas game.
Thank you. After that overtime loss to Texas in Starkville, when he called it on the field and they scored in that exact end zone on that corner, I was like, you should be banned from the entire facility.
Yeah, I don't like Brandon Walker all that much. I'm trying to think of some other guys who
Bosco.
were there. Yeah, he's kind of annoying, but. Big Cat and PFT, like I think, pardon my take, I think they do a good job for what they are.
They're too podcasty for me. That's why I'm not really a busting with the boys kind of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a good job if you're into that, but I'm more into the professionalism. And like, if I'm listening to a sports podcast, I don't really listen to those because I'm listening to this station, which is great. But if I'm listening to something, I want it straight from the source. So, I'll listen to a Locked On Network is great for that for some people, not specifically for the Titans.
You want like, if you want like daily updates on your team, Locked On is good. I listened to the Locked On Tigers podcast a lot last year, but I liked busting with the boys when they first came out, when like Taylor was still on the team, because you got a lot of like the behind the scenes insights of what went on. I remember after the Bengals playoff game, they did a depression pod and Taylor talked about like, we had drawn up that first play all week long with Todd Downing, and all week long it was like, they're all going to expect it to be a Derrick Henry run. He's back from injury. We're going to go play action and throw it down the field to Julio. And it got picked off. And it was like, that was such a gut punch for that team because they thought it was perfectly drawn up and it was going to be a big play right off the bat. And they didn't get it. So
it's too kiss ass now for me.
Right. Like it's now that Taylor's not on the team, you're not really getting that behind the scenes insight anymore. And the interviews they get, some are good. And I have listened to some of them. There are other ones where I'm just like, nah, I really just don't care all that much.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the podcasty stuff. That's just me. A lot of people like it. So I'm not here to be fun police. If you want to listen to that, go ahead.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We will get back into the Big Ten coming up next. What does Oregon look like in 2026? You bring back Dante Moore, who very well could have been the second overall pick in the draft this year. You continue to reload with talent. You've got young guys developing. Can Dan Lanning finally get the Ducks to the promised land? We'll talk about it coming up next. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Nick Frazier, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier with you, hanging out on your Friday morning. We'll get back into the Titans in just a little bit. Not out of training camp today. Titans' first open practice to the fans tomorrow, and then the pads come on Monday. So excited for that. We'll get into more of that coming up in the final hour of the show. But we're going through the Big Ten here because they just wrapped up Big Ten Media Days. We talked about Indiana. With Curt Cignetti, you don't doubt him. I think they're going to be back in the national title conversation this year. He's proven the development that he can do with transfer quarterbacks. Did it with Curtis Rourke 2 years ago from Ohio, Fernando Mendoza this past year. Not to say Josh Hoover is going to win the Heisman, but I think he's proven that he can get the most out of these guys coming over from other spots. Ohio State, I don't know how much we even need to talk about them. Their roster is always going to be loaded. They've got Julian Sayin coming back. They've got Jeremiah Smith. They've got Bo Jackson. Oregon, I think, is the most interesting team in the Big Ten.
Yep.
2 years ago, they were the number 1 seed in the college football playoff. Last year, they played in the college football playoff semifinals. They've come up short back-to-back years. That Oregon team still chasing the national championship. This feels like the year for them. Dante Moore was not supposed to come back. He wasn't. He was supposed to be an NFL draft pick, but he's back. And you've got talent around him. You got DeCorian Moore at wide receiver. You've got DJ Uiagalelei's brother on the defensive line on the other side.
Linebacker.
They've got a lot of talent on this team. And I think for Oregon, they're always going to be good, but this feels like a perfect opportunity for them to go out and win a national title. They've got to just go take care of business at this point.
It feels like they're second fiddle in the Big Ten in terms of conversation. Like everyone's talking about Indiana. Everyone's talking about Ohio State. I honestly feel like you hear more about Michigan than you do Oregon, just because maybe it's because of brand bias and things like that. I would imagine there's a lot more Michigan fans in the United States than there are Oregon fans. And Oregon's still got a good fan base, but Michigan is one of those brands that transcends college football. But I think you're right. They're a team that is not getting looked at a lot, but I think they have the capability of getting to the big dance. You know, you bring back Dante Moore at quarterback, who had good moments last year, probably would have gone number 2 overall if he would have come out.
Just kind of fell apart in that Indiana game.
Yeah, he did.
Turned the ball over, 3 times? Maybe even 4?
Yes.
He had the pick 6 to Pons, got stripped at least twice in the pocket.
Indiana was his kryptonite last year because he didn't look particularly great when they played in Eugene either.
Yeah. Do they play this year? They do not.
No.
At least in the regular season. The schedule is not easy for Oregon, even in the non-conference. Now, I think they should beat Boise State at home.
Yeah.
Boise State's good, but they're not Oregon level. That game's at Autzen. I think Oregon wins.
They'll play Oregon State.
Well, so they don't play Oregon State. They play the other OSU.
Really? Oklahoma State?
They play Oklahoma State in Stillwater, which I think is that's one of those early trap games. It is a 9 a.m. Pacific time start. So it's a noon kick Eastern time in Stillwater. You got Drew Mestamaker now there at quarterback. They finally made the switch away from Gundy. That's, again, I'd pick Oregon to win, but that has the makings of a trap game early on in the season for the Ducks.
It's a tough environment. They got those artificial noisemakers out there with the paddles that
yeah.
Who was it? It was the Big 12 that guy that asked
oh, yes. Yeah. He called into one of our shows or something like that, didn't he? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, sorry. It was yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The guy that asked about the tortillas.
Yeah, the tortillas. That's what it was. I was like, I know I heard this clip on one of our shows. Yes, it was the question to the commissioner of why'd you ban tortillas when Oklahoma State can use artificial noisemakers?
They got the paddles, man. It's one of the underrated traditions. Also, the origin place of tarps off.
Yes.
In a negative way.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Oklahoma State. That's a tough place to go play. I think that fan base might be re-energized now. I mean, Gundy was there forever.
It's like 20 years.
I mean, yeah, it was a while ago that he was a man and he's 40. He's got to be a man and he's 55 now or something like that, right?
Yeah. I loved
58 now, man. So yeah, so he's been there I don't know how early into his tenure I'm a man, I'm 40. come after me was, but that was, I mean, it was at least 18 years ago.
I mean, college football is better when he is employed. God rest his soul. College football was better when Mike Leach was around.
Pirate.
2 years into Gundy's tenure there at Oklahoma State.
So yeah, 20 years. He was there for 20 years. I think a switch re-energizes this fan base. So again, that's a trap game for Oregon in week 2. A game they should win, but definitely not going to be a gimme. And then the Big Ten schedule, you have to play at USC to start it off. USC, I think, is going to be better this year. You have to play at Illinois. You have to play at Ohio State. You play Michigan at home, and then you finish against Washington. It's a tough schedule for Oregon, but this is a team that is good enough to be 11-1, go to the Big Ten title game, and have a chance to make a run at a national championship. They've just always seemed to come up short, whether it was Chip Kelly back in the day, all the way up to Dan Lanning now. They just haven't been able to make those plays when it matters most in the playoff. Well, we'll see what they can do this year.
I mean, they, at this point, have no excuse. With the amount of NIL money that they're getting from Nike, the way that they can basically run the West in recruiting at this point with that money, they've got no excuse to come into a season and not have a loaded roster.
Yep.
It's a matter of coaching. And I love Dan Lanning. He's one of my favorite coaches in the nation. He's got to step it up when it comes to this. And I know he's a defensive guy, defensive genius, in my opinion. Like Robert Saleh said he was yesterday, defensive genius.
Yeah.
But he's got to find a way to get his guys to make the right plays at the right time. And he just hasn't been able to do that. I mean, remember his tenure started very slow.
Yeah.
They played Georgia in Atlanta and just got the absolute crap knocked out of him. And, there were questions about him. Since then, he's kind of taken Oregon to the next level.
Yep.
They're recognized as a national power on a yearly basis. But can he get the team to do well in the postseason when it matters?
Right.
I don't know.
That's the conversation we've had about the SEC the last couple of weeks of you can pound your chest and say you're the best conference, but in the biggest moments, you haven't been able to do it. Can you flip that narrative this season? I think for Oregon, one of the biggest hurdles they're going to have to get over is losing your guy, Will Stein.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited about Will Stein. I mean, I told you, 7-5. It's very ambitious, and it's not going to happen.
That's the ceiling. That's the ceiling for sure.
I mean, I just want to make a bowl game. But this isn't about Kentucky. They're not in the Big Ten. But I think you're right. Will Stein's a fantastic play caller from the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know who his replacement is. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
But
Drew Mehringer.
Okay.
He was the co-offensive coordinator last season and also the tight ends coach.
Okay.
Gotcha. So
there's familiarity
within. Yeah. Probably going to keep the system somewhat similar. So,
but still, you're losing your top play caller in Will Stein to the SEC. There's going to be an adjustment period that comes with that, especially on offense. And, if you're keeping a similar system, there's familiarity there. Obviously, you're returning a quarterback who's familiar with that system and at times thrived in it. He's part of the equation here, too.
Yeah.
Can he take the next step and honestly compete to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft? Because at least right now, we said this last year about the quarterback class last year.
There's a lot of options.
It's a pretty deep class at the top, it feels like. You've got more. We'll see what Arch Manning does. Sam Levitt, I think, is going to have
Lenore Sellers.
Maybe DJ Lagway takes the step. I highly doubt it, but we'll see.
No, you're right. Similar to last year, there are a lot of guys who, with a good season, could put themselves right at the very top of the NFL draft. But that's why you got to see it, because last year, all those guys, Nussmeier, Levitt, Aller, like none of them turned out to be the guy that you thought they were going to be.
Right.
And some of them obviously ended up coming back to school. Levitt and Arch Manning, who were both projected to be top 10 picks early on in the season.
And then we'll see about Sorsby. I don't think anyone will touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going in the first round. I feel pretty confident in saying that.
I mean, he'll be a day 3 pick, if anything.
Yeah. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'd love to hear from you. We'll continue the college football conversation coming up next. Our phone and text line driven by Wilson County Hyundai, online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier. Next man up. 1 or 2 out the game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier.
Derulo.
Dr. Crane making everybody happy in studio today.
This was his first album, too. This was early Derulo. Like he had just come out.
This is a great song. Jason Derulo he's got some bangers.
His like first 3 albums are great. And then he started all the TikTok stuff and went downhill.
Yeah, I got to say, I couldn't tell you what was on what album, but this one's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Where he sings his name in quite literally every single song.
Yeah. I've seen the TikTok stuff of like listening to Jason Derulo songs until he says his name, and it's just like a 4-second video. We're talking college football here. Have you had a chance to react to the Nick Frazier and Big Joe just absolutely horrendous take on Arion Carter?
Joe and I did yesterday.
Okay.
X Road in the morning.
Okay. Yes, you did. That's I do remember hearing that. Okay, good.
What the hell is wrong with
I haven't
say horrendous?
I haven't been able to talk to you about this, Nick Frazier. I mean, just awful.
What the hell is wrong with you guys?
You are not the worst of the two. Big Joe comparing this to Pete Rose is just absolute. Like, what are we doing?
And then called Joe and I idiots for disagreeing with him yesterday. He texted both of us.
I'm so glad I was listening in before we got Tony Pollard yesterday, and I heard Chase at least be the voice of reason on your show and say that this suspension should not be happening. So at least somebody has the right opinion on your show.
We love you, buddy.
No, I think he should be penalized in some facet, but I don't know if 2 games is worth it.
Okay.
Like to me, if you accept $428 for a airline flight from a professional scout, that goes against the Sparta Act. And Sparta Act is let me get the correct, it's an acronym.
Okay.
But
all right.
Let me get the correct naming here.
I like that at least Nick Frazier has done his research here. All I had heard, I didn't even hear the Pete Rose thing live. All I had heard was basically Nick and Joe saying he broke a rule, he should be punished. Like all that. It's like
we need a little context.
Yeah.
Here.
So basically, accepting any money from a professional agent or some form of like a professional level, it goes against the Sparta Act, which stands for Sports Agent Responsibility and Trust Act. So basically, it's an illegal offering, and I don't appreciate that. I do think that there should be some form of a penalty. I don't think 2 games is the penalty that should be awarded. But if you allow this to happen throughout the rest of college football, then it's kind of like the NIL. It's no holds barred. Like it's going to happen regardless.
I guess that's true. They want to draw a line. That's what the NCAA does. They want to draw lines. They want to set standards. But
this is not a hill to die on.
This is what they're doing. And I agree. It's just not the right hill to die on when there's no rules when it comes to where players can get money, except for, I guess, this one. He paid the money back. I feel like it should just be one of these no harm, no foul. Obviously, you made a mistake. 2 games is too much.
I agree.
Like maybe fine Tennessee or something. I guess the amateurism rules. I don't know how all of that works.
Yeah, but we got to draw a line between paying $427 for a commercial flight,
right,
and gambling years and years on your own baseball team. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, like that's where you lost me. I can understand like your point of he broke the rule and the Sparta Act and like all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think you have a horrible take.
I just think if you play within the guidelines of it all, it should reflect that, not, give him a free hall pass. No, let's not use hall pass anymore. Joe got me on that one. Let's not. Yeah. Different terminology.
Have you seen the movie?
I have not.
It's
and not
solid.
the one with
Owen Wilson and Jason Sudeikis.
I was going to say, there you go. Yeah. Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
No, but to the emphasis of this, like, I do think there should be some form of a penalty. If it's financially, then let it be financially. I don't know if 2 games is the right penalty for it, but I truly think morally, if you allow this to happen, the rest of college football, it's going to open up a brand new can of worms. And I just don't appreciate that for the I guess, amateurism of the sport.
I will retract my horrendous take for Nick Frazier. The Pete Rose thing from Big Joe is still horrendous. It is like,
to further provide evidence, let me read you some texts from Big Joe Dubin sent to me on how stupid we are.
Please do.
He says, quote, "My God, you really are that stupid, are you? Pete Rose broke a rule. Arion Carter broke a rule. They knew the rule." Joe Rexrode responded, "Totally, bro. build today's entire show around this, please. He responded, the kid broke a rule, so you're saying it's okay, everybody to break a rule and come with me a couple like I'm sorry. Let me back in. He broke a rule. God, you're so damn stupid.
So let's equate this to the law.
You don't have to dump that. I didn't say.
No, I think you're good.
Well, he's dumping it.
Oh, well, I think you're okay. You can say that anyway.
I said, God, you are not.
Yeah. There was a separation there.
Yeah. You don't have to dump that, Frazier. I didn't say anything bad. I didn't say there was separation.
There was separation between the two.
Just playing it safe.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
Good call. So let's say somebody murders somebody and somebody shoplifts. They both broke the law. Like, I understand Pete Rose's punishment was much larger than what Arian Carter's is, but I think it's one of those things where it's like, all right, you shoplifted, you gave the candy bar back. Should we put you in jail for a month? Like, I don't think so. Like, I just think it's one of those things where he paid the money back. It was clearly a mistake. It was probably something that was done purely out of convenience where the agent said, I'll book this for you to go do this workout and you can pay me back. Obviously, he broke the rule, but I don't think that deserves a 2-game suspension. Maybe a 1 game. Can we get it down to 1? Let him miss the Furman game.
But don't give me the whole NCAA hates Tennessee spiel because that's just not true. It's so stupid.
Yeah, well, I will say, like, everybody knows we're not Tennessee people on this show.
I think it's horrible.
I think it was Dustin who called in yesterday and said the SEC needs to stand together. You throw rivalries aside and you say, this is wrong. Arian Carter should be allowed to play.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not I don't like Tennessee, but I think this is wrong. So I'm standing with Tennessee on this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just cannot get behind what Joe said, saying this is the equivalent of Pete Rose breaking the laws of gambling.
Right. I mean, yeah, like, so Pete Rose broke one of the cardinal rules of sports, betting on your own sport, and he was banned for life. That is like the worst punishment you can get. Arian Carter, again, he broke a rule, but he paid the money back. It was a mistake. I think it's one of those things where I think Josh Heupel said it perfectly. Like, you're punishing a guy who's going about all of these things the right way. He made a mistake. He shouldn't have to miss a 6th of his final season of college football because of this. Anyway,
I think representatives from all 16 teams should stand on the 50 at the Vols home opener and stand in unison for Arian Carter.
If this agent would have, just maneuvered the money elsewhere, like not say through the family, because that's also still against the Sparta Act, but say through like a friend or somebody that maybe knew him from a friend of a friend and then gave him the money that way. And or you just get the money from a lesser certified agent. Like that is also a thing on the Sparta Act. You just do it through a lesser certified agent. It's
just like, I think it was a gray area of testing the waters, and he hadn't quite declared for the draft and was thinking about coming back. And so it was a messy situation that probably should have never happened. But again, it's like comparing it to Pete Rose is like saying, well, if you murder someone, you get punished. So if you steal a candy bar and give it back, you should get punished too. It's
serve life in prison,
right? Yeah. Like, it's, I'm not saying that Joe's not saying the punishment should be similar, but you're equating one breaking of the rule to the other that are just completely nonsensical. Like, it doesn't make, there is no correlation between Pete Rose and Arian Carter.
I can't get past that.
Yeah, that's, I take back what I said about you having a horrendous take. I understand where you're coming from, even if we disagree.
Sure.
I don't understand where Big Joe's coming from.
Just know we love you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And we love Big Joe too.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. But don't call me stupid because I disagree with your stupid take. And especially don't use that adjective you used before stupid.
Very true. 615-737-1025 is the phone number if you'd like to chime in. Our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We will wrap up the second hour on this Friday after this. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier. Next man up, 1-2-5 the game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier. Finishing the second hour on your Friday morning. Back into the Titans at 11. There was an interesting article at ESPN yesterday about all of the second-year quarterbacks and what they need to work on most heading into year two. I thought Benjamin Solak's take on Cam Ward was very interesting. So we'll get into that coming up next. We were going to talk Heisman candidates, and it's so funny on First Take. Jordan Rodgers, former Vanderbilt quarterback, just went through his top 5 Heisman favorites. It was John Mateer, Julian Sayin, Josh Hoover, Arch Manning, and Trinidad Chambliss, all quarterbacks. Am I wrong to think that this could be one of those years where you don't get a quarterback as the Heisman winner with guys like Jeremiah Smith? You've got Kawan Lacey. I do wonder, though, with Jeremiah Smith and like Cam Coleman as 2 of the top wide receivers in the league, Malachi Toney deserves to be included in this as well.
Yeah. But how much does the quarterback elevate
that? Exactly. That's my question is, if Jeremiah Smith goes for 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns this year, which in the regular season, which is huge, does Julian Sayin get more credit for that and end up winning the Heisman? Same thing, Arch Manning and Cam Coleman. I do wonder if that plays a factor, but the skill position players around the country, the talent is really, really high this year.
I don't think your take is completely out of the question. I've been pretty adamant. My Heisman contender and the guy I would probably predict to win is Trinidad.
Yeah.
Just because I think there's so much familiarity on that offense for him. I mean, he's handing the ball off to Kawan Lacey, who, there you go, another skill position player that can maybe end up being in that conversation. But all the receivers, I think he's got a good lineup there. He's got a good offensive line. They're going to be an electric offense this season. And the development of Trinidad Chambliss last year from, Austin Simmons gets hurt, they slide him in, everyone thinks, oh, this is just some guy from some D2 school that's going to be in and out.
Right.
And then he lights the world on fire.
Yep. In the biggest moments.
Gets them to the college football playoff. They go 11-1, lifts them single-handedly over Georgia. And then they go to the college football playoff semifinals and just hang right in there with Miami, who goes to the national championship. He is definitely my pick in terms of who I think is going to win the Heisman. But from skill position perspective, I think you're not off base there. Toney has a conversation there. Jeremiah Smith, of course, is at the forefront of that conversation. I think Kawan Lacey could be in there. We could see Ahmad Hardy maybe
if he gets healthy.
If he can get healthy. Outside of quarterbacks, there's some in the SEC. Manning, I think Marcel Reed's not getting talked about enough.
Yeah,
we could see maybe something from him. Gunnar Stockton's not being talked about enough.
Yeah, I mean, even Sam Levitt at LSU, he was getting Heisman talk last year, had a down year at Arizona State, but with more talent around him at LSU, who knows? Maybe he could end up being in the conversation too.
Yeah, but I just feel like how you feel about, do skill position players get not enough credit because of what the quarterback does? I feel like that's going to come into play this year.
Yeah.
Like if Kawan Lacey goes on an absolute tear and, rushes for 1,400 yards, but some of that is allocated towards in the passing game and has, 12 touchdowns or so.
Yeah.
How much of that is going to be because of Trinidad Chambliss in that game plan?
Right.
I think that's going to be the story. So you're going to see Trinidad get credit. You're going to see Arch Manning get credit for Cam Coleman. You're going to see Sayin get credit for Smith. You're going to see, it was another example.
Like we talk about Malachi Toney, like Darian Mensah could get credit for a lot of the stuff Malachi Toney does.
Dante Moore gets credit for what Decorian Moore does. I think that's going to be the case. There's too many top quarterback names this year for there to be, a skill position player that just comes over the top. Now, maybe a running back takes the lead, like Kawan or Ahmad Hardy or someone like that.
Yeah,
the kid from Florida is pretty good as well. But I don't think
Ball.
Yeah, I don't think Florida's going to be as good this year. So
we'll see. Nate Frazier, not Nick Frazier, Nate Frazier at Georgia,
distant cousin of Nick Frazier.
It's a cousin of mine at the running back position.
So I agree with you. Running backs, we've seen a lot of running backs win the Heisman because running backs can dominate and get all the credit for it, right?
Yeah.
Quarterback's not getting credit for handing the ball off, but it is a struggle for wide receivers to win it because you do have to you have to be the reason for a lot of that. You have to make the highlight plays. The quarterback can't be too good, because it's like, if the quarterback's really good and you're really good, they're going to give the trophy to the quarterback. So,
well, their stats are the most measurable because it's the most versatile. You get credit for passing yards. You get credit for passing touchdowns,
right.
But you can also get credit for what you do on the run game
yeah.
and the scrambling and rushing touchdowns, and then interceptions count against you.
Yeah.
There's so many stats that go into quarterback that are measured by the Heisman committee that they're statistically the most likely position to win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a quarterback. As Chad says on the text line, there's too many names for a quarterback to not win it this year. Like, we probably listed off a dozen guys at quarterback who could possibly win the Heisman this year. Jeremiah Smith, though, Nick Frazier's guy, Jeremiah Smith. I mean, if I had to pick somebody who's a non-quarterback to win it, I think Sayin was good last year, and he was a Heisman finalist last year, which
but he was privileged.
Yeah, like
you're throwing the ball to Carnell Tate and Jeremiah
Smith, both top 5 picks in the NFL draft. But I think there is a chance that Jeremiah Smith, because he's so well known nationally, and the expectation is for him to maybe be the best player in college football, if he goes out and has a ridiculous year, even if Sayin is good, I could see Jeremiah Smith winning it.
That is true. I just feel like it's going to be a quarterback.
Yeah, it's always a safe bet.
I think the Heisman is a quarterback award, because there are examples just the past couple of years of that not being the case.
Right. Travis Hunter, Devontae Smith was the last. I guess Travis Hunter was a wide receiver, but he got it because he played both ways.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith in 2020.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick. I mean, lots of running backs won it for a while there.
Yeah.
Especially Alabama running backs, Mark Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I mean, I think it's going to be a quarterback. That's always a safe bet, but I do think there are options for skilled players. Lacey, Smith, Tony. I think that's two of the 3 guys on the college football video game cover right there with Lacey.
Throw Moore in there.
Yeah, Dante Moore can win it too. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you'd like to join the conversation, our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We got one more hour with you on this Friday. We're going to talk Titans. We will talk MLB trade deadline as well with our Monday headlines coming up at 11:30. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, next man up, 1-2-5 the game. Next man up, 102.5, The Game, final hour on this Friday. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Back into the Titans here to start off the final hour. Training camp is underway. Practice number 3 today, number 4 tomorrow. And that one open to the fans. Acclimation period over after tomorrow, and the pads come on Monday. And, of course, all eyes are on Cam Ward heading into year 2. Benjamin Solak at ESPN put out an article putting out how the second-year quarterbacks, Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, and Shedeur Sanders, can all improve this year. And with Cam Ward, he mentions running and arm arrogance, which is a word that we've used around here as well, talking about quarterbacks who just believe that they can make every throw and they can make every play. I've always kind of talked about it as a positive for Cam Ward of you have to have that arrogance in your arm. You have to believe that every tight window you can make that throw, because there are going to be times you have to do it. Now, you don't have to do it every single play, but you have to believe you can do it. Benjamin Solak goes through and says basically those plays where Cam Ward went off script, where he held the ball for longer than 4 seconds, was actually some of the worst that he played last year. He had I want to find the exact number here, a 107.3 expected points lost on 88 dropbacks where he held the ball for more than 4 seconds last year.
Wow.
Second to only Bryce Young this decade for the most lost value on extended dropbacks in a single season. So we talk about Cam Ward's ability to extend the play and make those off-script backyard football plays. Maybe that's not actually helping him and helping the team be able to move the ball down the field.
Yeah, we're at a tough crossroads here. Do you want to go with the eye test or do you want to go with the analytical side of things? And I tend to lean more on the eye test side of things.
Yeah.
I think that's a strength of Cam Ward's game. I could take you back to his first passing touchdown where the pocket shifts right, he shifts right, improvises, scrambles outside of the pocket, throws it cross-body to Alec Iomanner into the end zone. Probably his best play of the season, no? I mean, yeah. You could argue there were a few.
I think that one, and then he had the one throw against the Chiefs rolling left where he threw across his body, and I think he hit DK on the sideline. Those are the two that come to mind for me.
There was one for DK against the Patriots too.
The touchdown. Ball. Yeah. That was a good throw.
That could be up there. So I would argue that his improvisation and his arm arrogance, as Solak calls it, is a positive. But there are cases where I do think that is something he needs to be taking a look at. Maybe you're holding the ball on too long and taking a sack. There were plenty of instances last season where he couldn't find his read and he just held the ball on too long and the sack came his way. And, you could put some of that on the offensive line, but as a quarterback, you only get a few seconds of a pocket unless you have the Eagles offensive line and they just have forever. So arm arrogance, I don't see it as too much of a negative for Cam Ward. I actually think that's one of his strengths. That's one of the things he was praised of coming out of the draft is his improvisation. But I do think that is something he needs to keep an eye on. And that's something we saw at practice yesterday is he didn't spend too much time looking for the right read. If it wasn't there, he found the dump off. He sent it to the running back, or he sent it to the tight end, or he sent it to Wan'Dale Robinson. So I think that is something they're trying to instill in him, but I don't want him to fully go away from that mentality.
Right.
I think that helps him be the quarterback for the Titans, honestly.
Yeah, I think you need the off-schedule plays to be a part of his bag, but as we've talked about, he needs to play more within the system, more within the structure of the offense. And something that Solak also points out in this article is Ward needs to be more willing to run. He had 88 dropbacks with a time to throw over 4 seconds. That was second to only Caleb Williams last year. A lot of those times he was running, he was scrambling around and escaping. He was running to throw. Not saying Cam Ward needs to be a pure runner, but I do think that he needs to be more willing to, hey, there's not much open downfield. Maybe I could thread a needle 30 yards down the field, or I could run and I could get 6 yards and make it 2nd and 4. Like, I think that needs to be more part of his game too.
This is where you need to see him become more like Mahomes in that aspect.
Yeah, take what you can get.
Mahomes is great at, yes, he has a bazooka arm. He's a great pocket passer. But if the defense is giving you something that you just can't make the throw, Mahomes is comfortable with tucking and running. Not like Josh Allen, where that's the biggest strength of his game is bulldozing over you and just using his legs. I would call, Joe talks about this all the time. I would call Josh Allen a running quarterback. I would say Mahomes is more of a scrambler.
Yeah.
For Cam Ward, if you're able to scramble and get outside the pocket and get a few yards, not break away for 70 yards and get a touchdown, although that would be awesome. Break away from the pocket, get down, take the slide, take what the defense gives you. I think that could help some of his improvisational skills.
Yeah.
And I think that would honestly help him, as he's looking for reads. If it's not there, just do it, man. Take what the defense gives you. Kind of like what we were talking about with checkdowns. Take what the defense gives you.
Right. I think it's just Brian Callahan called him a hunter. And you don't want to lose that mindset completely, but there has to be – and I do like – it seems like he's reframed that mentality by the way he talks about third downs. And I have to be great on third downs, but on first and second down, you just have to keep the ship afloat. And so I think that that's really important for him this year is to get more into that mindset of, again, Bo Hardigree, I think said it perfectly in the Netflix documentary. Once you start taking the slants, taking the drags, taking the easy stuff in the checkdowns, this game is going to be so easy for you.
Yeah.
And I think you can see it starting to click when he talks and what you've seen on the practice field the first couple of days. He is taking that stuff. There was a nice little pass to the flat for Tajay Spears yesterday that I thought, I think that was on third down, that would have gone for a big gain.
You know what? He has the tools and the guys to be able to do that. That's why you brought in Wan'Dale Robinson. He is a master at working inside the middle in slant routes or just across the middle in short down and distance.
Yep.
Gunnar Helm is going to help you out in that. You have the ability, although I don't think he's gotten to the level you expected him to. You have Tajay Spears, who is a running back that works well in the pass game. Well, might not be the word, but he can do some things in the pass game. You have tools on your offense that allow you to be able to do that. So just work through the offense. It's a team game. It's not a me game. And I'm not saying Cam Ward is selfish, of course, but there were moments where, not to put him on the Will Levis pedestal of I'm going to be the hero, but there were moments last year where Cam Ward looked to be the hero and it just didn't work out.
And I don't know if there were a ton of disastrous moments when he was playing a little bit of that hero ball, getting out of the pocket, making crazy. Like, I can't think of too many. I mean, I guess the fumble against the Patriots where just kind of rolled out and let the ball slip behind him.
There are a couple
that kind of put the game away. We remember the highlight plays, right? Like, you remember the Alec Iamaner touchdown, his first touchdown of his career. You remember the play on third down to Xavier Restrepo against the Seahawks in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. You remember the play against the Chiefs rolling out and making the play. You remember the good plays, but in the article it says on the 88 dropbacks that he had, where he held the ball for more than 4 seconds, only 5 completions of over 20 yards. So it's like you remember all of the big plays that he made when he got into the scramble drill because those were the highlight grabs and the highlight plays down the field. I don't think I remember a whole lot of disastrous plays on those snaps, but they weren't productive. A lot of incomplete passes, a lot of sacks. Like, I think that it shows you that, yes, that needs to be part of his game, but it needs to be a much smaller part of his game heading into year 2.
Well, some of that is how much do you put on Cam Ward, the player, and how much do you put on the system he was working in? Because obviously now we know the system he was playing under was not a sustainable system.
Yeah.
He changed play callers in the middle of the year. Not that the system changed, but he changed play callers in the middle of the year. So I don't know. There's an interesting dichotomy between eye test and analytics.
Yep.
I think it's okay to blend the two.
Right.
Like you just mentioned, only 5 were 20 plus yards. That's not good enough. You need more than that if you're going to be a successful team in this league. But I also don't want to look at it and say, well, Cam Ward was worse in, I don't know, improvisational plays at the 5 or something like that. That's a strength of his game to me. I don't see that as a negative.
It's not a negative, but I think those stats show you that it can't be everything in his game. There has to be more playing from the pocket, getting the ball out quick, and being willing to run the football when you do get outside the pocket and not just dancing around trying to wait for someone to come open. Somebody does come open sometimes, and we saw him make the plays when they did, but being able to make plays early, snap, 1, 2, balls out, get 6 yards. Oh, nobody's open, roll out instead of holding it.
Just throw it.
Throw it or run or get what you can get. And I think that's a big part of Cam Ward's development heading into year 2. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'd love to hear from you. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll continue this conversation, talk more about what we've seen from Cam Ward in the first couple of days of practice coming up next. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier with you. Got a few more segments on this Friday. Going through the article ESPN put out yesterday about what Cam Ward needs to be better at, and a lot of it was based around not having to scramble as much, not having to hold the ball for 4+ seconds to make plays downfield. Rick on the text line makes some good points. He says Cam was throwing to rookie wide receivers. It was Alec Iamaner. It was Chim Dike. They were playing a lot of the top defenses, and the coaching wasn't great. All good points from Rick. And I do agree that when Cam Ward does have to scramble, there might be more options for him this year. There should be more options for him this year with guys like Carnell Tate and Wan'Dale Robinson as his top targets. But those stats do show you that even though you got the highlight plays from him, he still wasn't helping the team overall on a play-to-play basis when he was holding the ball for that long. Now, you would hope better coaching from Dable, better receivers. He's not going to have to hold the ball 88 times, 4 seconds or longer this year. You would hope that goes down. And I think the second part of it is just being better at decision-making of when you get outside of the pocket, you don't have to get the ball 30 yards down the field. Sometimes it's going to come open for you. And if you have the arm arrogance to make that throw, you might be able to hit a big play. But you don't have to make that throw every time into tight coverage. You can just take what's there for you. So, Rick, we're not saying that Cam Ward needs to stop doing it, because I think there is value in the escapability on third down, being able to make those plays to move the chains. But he did it too much last year, and he wasn't as effective as you may have thought doing it as just watching the games.
No, and I think he needs to be held accountable for that. You can't just go into the season and give him a fresh pass because of all the things that went into his corner last year. This is part of his development. And look, Cam Ward's familiar with all of this. He's familiar with change. Look at his college career. How many different coordinators and different coaches did he go through to get to the NFL?
A lot.
So this isn't unfamiliar territory for him. And you have to hold him somewhat accountable for that. Now, do all of those things work in his favor? No. I mean, you had a play caller who was a doofus and didn't know what he was doing.
For the first 3 games, and then you switch it
to another doofus that didn't know what he was doing. And then, of course, you had a terrible offensive line. You're right, Rick. He was throwing to rookie wide receivers. So those things are going to change this year. But it doesn't change the fact that there were plays last year where he just wasn't impactful the way he should have been. And I think those are very fixable mechanics for him. There are very fixable things, a part of his game, that I don't think you should go away from.
Yeah.
Like the arm arrogance we're talking about. I see most of that as a strength for him.
I agree.
That he's able to adapt in those situations, that he's able to find a way out of a dark situation or a dark play and turn it into something good. We saw that last year. You mentioned it. You remember those highlight plays of the crossbody pass to Iamaner or the roll outside and finding of Xavier Restrepo in the middle of the field. Those are strengths to his game, but it doesn't need to be every single play from him. At some point, you've got to see even just the basic quarterback things, the dump offs. Take what the defense gives you. If you have nothing in the passing game, it's okay to roll outside and run for a little bit.
Yeah.
As long as you slide and don't get yourself hurt. We don't have to see hero ball. And I'm not putting him on the same level of Will Levis hero ball, where every play had to be a highlight play, no matter the cost. I mean, the ultimate one that comes to mind, the Bears.
Or the Jets the next week.
He rolls the ball to Tajay Spears. Remember, I think it was the year before against, it might have been a division game. He threw the interception.
Oh, yeah, that was a Colts game.
Jumped over the line, made him fumble.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. And I don't think Cam Ward is stubborn enough to do that.
Yeah, I think you're right. The arm arrogance is a strength to his game. The backyard play ability is a strength to his game. It's just about being selective in how you use it, right? That's the big thing, is being selective in when the right time to use that type of play is, and doing the boring stuff well. And I think based on what we've seen in practice so far, I think that's what Brian Dable's trying to get, is he's starting with the boring stuff, the surface level, the foundational stuff, to just get Cam Ward into the habit of taking what's in front of him, and then they'll build off of that, give him more opportunities to push the ball downfield. But I do like what we've seen so far, that Brian Daboll seems to be trying to just get Cam Ward in the habit of doing the boring stuff and taking what the defense gives you.
Well, you can go across history and look at some of the best quarterbacks of all time. And some of what set them apart from other quarterbacks is they did the simple stuff well. Tom Brady did the simple stuff well. He had an elite mind of the game. He knew how to control a game, like we're talking about. If the defense wasn't showing that he had any open receivers, not that he was a runner, but he could take off and run for a couple yards and get down for the slide and gain a little bit. He would throw the ball away if he had to. He would find the checkdowns. He also had an elite tight end and Rob Gronkowski helping him out. But Cam Ward, I think, is capable of doing those things. He just has to unlock that mindset. And kind of like what Bo Hardigree said in the documentary, if you can figure out how to do that stuff, the rest of the game is going to come so easy for you, because you'll have an unlocked potential and an unlocked vision to see that stuff. You'll see the deep ball threat that Carnell Tate is going to give you when he beats this guy off the line and he's wide open 40 yards downfield. This is the hard stuff. The simple stuff is the hard stuff for a quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you want to make the highlight plays. You want to score a touchdown on every play that you snap the football.
He said that the other day.
Right.
We're trying to score every play.
You're trying to score every play. You also have to realize that you're not going to score every play. And 10% of the game for a quarterback might be making those big time throws. The other 90% is really important too. And I think I like the way Brian Daboll seems to be structuring the start to training camp for Cam Ward to try and get him in that right mindset.
Jeffrey Simmons had a good quote about this the other day, and I think it pertains to the quarterback position as well. He said football is like an 85% mental game, maybe 90.
Yeah.
Which is true. I mean, you have to have the physical attributes. And I mean, my God, look at Jeffrey Simmons. He's he's for sure got the physical attributes.
The 15% is there for Jeffrey Simmons.
Yes, it is. But it is mental. And quarterback is the most mental position in all of sports, because you don't have to know just your duty. You've got to know the duties of 10 other guys on the field with you.
And what you think the 11 guys across from you are going to try and do.
So that's 21 guys that you have to know what's going to happen.
Besides yourself.
Right.
Like, so that's the big part of it. And I think Brian Daboll, he's the match made in heaven for Cam Ward to try and get him locked in and improving this season. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Let's go to the phone lines. Butch is called in to talk about Cam Ward. Butch, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Hey, man, thanks. I have every reason to believe that Cam is on the right page here. And you're right, because if you think about it, Cam Ward, up until this point in his career, has been fighting for his life on the football field. And a lot of times being the only playmaker on those teams, whether it be Incarnate Word, Washington State, Miami, he had a little bit more talent. My point is, he has developed this mindset to where if we're going to win, it's going to come down to me. And he's not at that point anymore. He's no longer in survival mode. He's now in let's mature and let's find out a way to really slice smartly. And I'm encouraged because he said in the press conference yesterday or one day this week, doesn't matter. But what he said was, someone asked him, how are you better this year than you were last year? And he said situational awareness. And to me, that is someone saying, I am learning that I have a lot of dangerous and desirable skills and tools, and I am now learning when to use them. You don't blow up, a building when all you want inside is one person. So I have the sense I get is that he's recognizing what we're all feeling is that it's not going to be a Hail Mary every play. But I really think he's maturing with that situational awareness that he's going to be able to be more selective to know that this pass and this approach is in this situation is going to be best. And I also like, if I may, just one more thing. He said, what do you like about this offense? And he said, we're going to have some serious routes. There's going to be a lot of balls thrown. But he also said the receivers are given permission to freelance. Yeah. And so what I'm imagining, we know that Cam can freelance. When the play breaks down, that's where you really get to see his natural ability, right? And I think to go with that, the receivers are now kind of being emboldened to, hey, when it breaks down, get out there and freelance, find what you can, cover if you have to, but always give Cam a target. I like what I've heard, what I'm seeing, but it sounds like our concern of, dude, sometimes it's the drag route. It's the, whatever. I think he's going to have a different perspective, or at least a maturation of situational awareness. And I think it's going to be a key part of his growth this year.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Butch, is that you've heard that from Cam Ward, that he wants to be better situationally. Third downs, red zone, 2-minute drill. And Butch used you don't blow up the building when you just want one person. I'll say in a less morbid analogy, like, you may have a power drill in your tool bag. Sometimes you just need a screwdriver. That's what I think with Cam Ward, is that he's learning. Sometimes you don't need to be making this sidearm jumping Derek Jeter type throw. Sometimes you just gotta, hey, gunner helm, release to the flat. He's wide open. Hit him. He's going to run for 6 yards. Boom.
You know who had this same problem last year? Simplifying the game. And I would say he's turned out to be a pretty good quarterback in this league. Caleb Williams.
Yeah. I think Caleb Williams and Cam Ward,
they're different players, but they're the same.
They played similar styles. Yes, they're different athletically, but they play a similar style of, when they get outside the pocket, you just never know what's going to happen, and they can make a crazy throw left and right. But I think Caleb Williams did find a little bit more of a rhythm under Ben Johnson, just taking what was given to him. Cam Ward needs to do the same thing with Brian Daboll this year. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you'd like to chime in, we'd love to hear from you. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We got 30 minutes left in the show. We'll make some predictions for the weekend coming up next in our Monday headlines. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, next man up. 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, vibing in studio. I said earlier that I endorsed Nick Frazier as possibly the best bump music at the station, and Parker Kelly was not happy about that.
Just do better.
He did text me. He said, I hope you didn't slander my bump music. He said, I'll step my game up. Need to make it clear who the best DJ is at 102.5. He says, tell Dr. Crane to spot the ball.
Okay, I'll spot the ball on the one. See
if I was
99 yards.
If I was given freedom of choice in music on the afternoons, I would dethrone all three of you.
Oh wow, we got a showdown coming here.
I just don't have that freedom because they get very picky about what music I'm allowed to play.
Yeah, that is true. I give Parker free reign. He can play whatever he wants. Nick Frazier as well.
I don't get that. I'm the only one that doesn't get that.
Yeah, Ian's got free reign. Ian does a good job.
I'm taking a stand. No more. This will be addressed in the show meeting next week.
There we go.
Designate you for like 2 days of whatever, carte blanche.
Well, I get 1 day, and we rotate between the four of us, and it gets kind of exhausting. But I get my 1 day, and I kill it every time. It could be every day if you just let me have it.
Yeah, just let him off the leash.
I'm on a limited minutes. That's what I'm on.
I will say Parker yesterday, we had TD on for the one segment and he played Dreams and Nightmares, and TD kind of like made me jump a little bit because he just started like dancing in the middle of the balcony we were up on. He was fired up. So Parker got that one right. It is. I mean, it gets you going. I think that really sparked him through the rest of the day.
That's safe for TD.
That's true.
You know what you're going to get from there.
Right. Yeah, that is true. Being the best DJ is about pulling things that it's just like, oh, wow.
Yeah, like what he just did right there.
Well done. Yeah, that one had me singing along before we came back in.
He's a peacock, Captain. Got to let him fly.
There you go.
For Connor Newton in the afternoon.
You thinking what I'm thinking? Aim for the bushes.
Yeah.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We've got about 25 minutes left with you, so get any thoughts you have in on our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Let's make some predictions for the weekend. There's not much going on this weekend.
Nah.
Not a ton. But it is one of my favorite weeks of the year, MLB trade deadline weekend. He could get traded again this week. I'm going to ask each of you to predict a player around the MLB and where they get traded this week. Connor, do you have any in mind?
Good question. Very good question. I mean, the low-hanging fruit is your guy.
Is Mr. Scooble. He gone.
I don't want to take that fruit. I feel like Boston's going to buy.
Yeah, with the way they've been playing the 15-game win streak, yeah.
They've been playing well. My guy today would have been Minter, but Minter's up and moving to New York. Could the Reds sell something off? I think JJ Bleday is going to be traded.
Okay. You got a destination for him?
He's going to go to a contender. We could obviously go with the low-hanging fruit of Los Angeles.
Yeah, everybody to the Dodgers.
Yeah. JJ Bleday to this is tough. Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
They keep it in the division.
I like that. Reunite him with, I don't know. They may not have played together. Dansby Swanson, but two Vandy boys together.
Yeah.
Correct. I will take the low-hanging fruit. Tarek Skubal will be a Milwaukee Brewer.
Oh.
And
a rotation.
I'm going to go even further and say it gets done tonight. I think Tarek Skubal is going to be gone sooner rather than later. He's going to be the holdup for everybody because it seems like every contender and their mom wants Tarek Skubal right now.
Yeah.
So they've got to get that out of the way in order to move on to other moves. So I think it's going to happen tonight. I think Tarek Skubal is going to be a Milwaukee Brewer. The Brewers go big to try and mainly keep him away from the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I like that a lot. I'm kind of in the same, note as that. Lars Nootbaar with the St. Louis Cardinals, I think, is gone.
Okay.
I do think so. I think he is one of those trade assets that, he went for that double Achilles injury or went for the surgery this past offseason. I could see him going to either Tampa, like you mentioned, with the one and only Tarek Skubal. That might be an option there.
Tampa's good.
or maybe in this case, Philadelphia, because there were some, words from Bryce Harper saying we need some extra help. Outfield's not great. Brandon Marsh, Justin Crawford, and Brian De La Cruz. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
Tampa and Miami are always the dump off locations for the Cardinals. Like we could go back to the Alcantara trade where it was Miami, or who was it they traded to Tampa a couple years ago?
Even Yuri Perez.
Yeah.
Current pitcher right now.
Yeah, they do. You do see
Dylan
over
Carlson.
The years, there's a lot of trade relationships that get built. Whatever it is, maybe your GM knows that GM, but you do see a lot of teams trading with the same guys. I think the Tigers are going to be the star of this deadline. I think they're going to fire sale everybody.
They should.
Everybody. Casey Mize just got scratched. Here's a prediction for you. Maybe some local fans will like this. I think he's going to be a Brave. I think the Braves go get Casey Mize. And Casey Mize has been really good this year. I think he's going to be good. I think Kenley Jansen's gone. Prayers to anybody who tries to acquire that man. I think Gleyber Torres is gone. Trying to think of anybody else. Tigers are going full fire sale. They're going to keep
the young guys, though.
Yeah. The only untouchables for me that are on the current roster, Dylan Dingler, Riley Green, Kevin McGonigal, Troy Melton, and being called up today, Max Clark.
Good job, Max Clark. Way to get that 8-year deal done. He hasn't got one yet?
He hasn't got one. McGonigal got one.
That's right.
But Max Clark coming up today. Those 5 guys, untouchable. Anybody else, you can have them.
Sell it all.
Casey Mize got scratched from his start tonight, too, which I think shows you that he's probably going to be gone.
You think Frambler gets gone?
No one wants Framber. He's horrible, and his contract is horrible. Yeah. So Framber, sadly, we're stuck with him. But, yeah, besides those 5 guys, anybody else can be had for the right price. And I think Skubal goes tonight. Do we know why they changed the deadline to the 3rd instead of today?
I think it's just primarily just the change of schedule for the MLB this year. With I think the All-Star, it's always All-Star
the All-Star week a week later. Yeah, you're right. It was. Yeah. It was a week later. So I guess I get it. It should be more based on the point in the season than the specific day, but it was always July 31st. I used to love when the Tigers were good in 11 through 14, I would camp in front of the TV and watch the MLB Network coverage for 12 hours on deadline day. I remember specifically 5 minutes before the deadline in 2014. Yeah, 2014 when the Tigers traded for David Price. And I ran around my house because that was Price, Verlander, Scherzer, Porcello, all in the same rotation.
Golly.
And they got swept by the Orioles in the ALDS.
Yeah, I remember that.
Anyway, I've had my Tigers moment here. 615-737-1025. Monday headlines, we've had to mix it up because there's just not a...
There's going to be a championship banner hung in Lexington this weekend.
Oh.
The TBT is going on.
Oh, yeah, the alumni.
The Kentucky alumni are in the championship.
There you go. Here's a headline for you. Cats punch their ticket to the championship on Sunday in Clarksville.
I think we're gonna get a Cats Albany rematch.
Yeah, I think so too. I do. That's they're the 2 best teams.
Yeah,
and have been all year. So
and they're playing at home.
There you go. Yeah, Cats in Clarksville. I'm telling you that atmosphere when I was up there a month ago was awesome.
They haven't lost a game.
No, not in Clarksville, not at F&M Bank Arena. So that's coming up Sunday, and you can listen to it right here, 2:45. Pregame show. So excited for that. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We got one more segment. We'll wrap up the show after this. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, next man up. 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newton, Nick Frazier. Little Flo Rida to wrap things up.
Flo Rida was on top of the world in like 2012.
So I saw him 2 years ago. He played a post-game. I went up to visit my family in Northern Virginia, and we went to a Nats game, and he played a post-game concert. I gotta say, it was pretty good. Like I stuck around. It was entertaining.
He's got some hits, man.
He does. Sticking with baseball here for just 1 second. I asked Connor, did you see the Harrison Bader story from this morning? Okay, this is hilarious. So Harrison Bader was riding a scooter, and
as one does.
So first off, he's out for the season. I'll preface with that. He's out for the season with the San Francisco Giants. He was in a scooter accident where he reportedly drove his scooter into the back of a fire truck, and the fire truck then ran over his injured foot.
Oh my God. That's so horrible.
How?
That is
the scooters are dangerous. And I will say that, like, there are tons that roam around Nashville, especially when you've been out there drinking on Broadway.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Watch out for those pedal taverns too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those will get you.
So Harrison Bader out for the season. Scooter accident.
Because of that? That's why he's out for the season?
The fire truck rolled over his foot. He's out for the year.
2-ton truck, right?
Yeah,
carries a lot of water.
Man, that's like some Curb Your Enthusiasm stuff right there.
Yeah. So it's not Tony Vitello's fault, but it's been a pretty big disaster for him in year one. I don't know what
he's got a horrible team.
I don't know. On paper, that team looked pretty good coming into the year.
Yeah.
On paper, like they had traded for Rafael Devers last year, who's had his own issues.
Luis Ariz.
Who is the center fielder?
Jung Ho Lee.
Jung Ho Lee. Yeah. Like they've got talent on that team.
Chapman.
Chapman's still there. Yeah. No, that's a good team. They've been bad. I don't think he gets fired after 1 year.
No.
But it is interesting because your guess would be if Vitello leaves the Giants, he goes back to college baseball. But with the timing of everything, like, how does that all work out? Would there be an opening for him in October when his season's over? Or would he leave the Giants next year in July if a college baseball opening?
I'm telling you where he's going to go.
I don't know.
I'll tell you where he's going to go.
Arkansas.
Yep. He'll wait for Dave to retire.
Yep.
And then slide right in there.
Yeah, which is Tennessee's nightmare.
Yep.
But some people have joked about, like, when Corbin retires, and I gotta say, no information from anybody here, just my opinion. Do not think that he would be a fit at Vanderbilt.
No.
So
he doesn't fit the classiness. Not that I don't think he's a good guy. I'm sure he's a great person.
Right.
He's a bit in your face, and Vanderbilt baseball is not that.
Well, it's also like Vandy spent years having him as a giant villain. Like, I just don't know if that would make a whole lot of sense to just be like, oh yeah, you're our new head coach. So yeah. I'm going to say it's a no on that, but I do think he'll be back in college baseball sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know. I never thought it would really work out for him in the MLB, but I do think it was a chance he had to take if you're offered that. He fits more of the college game to me.
Right.
And I think he'll find his way back at the top of college baseball for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's always been a college coach. He can recruit really well. I think he relates to that generation of players well. I don't think it was ever really going to work in pro baseball. Yeah. But
we'll see. It's still early.
We'll see. It's still early. He hasn't even made it through one season. I think he's going to get a second one. I don't think the Giants make that move and are just going to make a knee-jerk firing after 1 year. I think they brought in Vitello trying to do something different. They're going to give him time to figure it out, but obviously has not been a very good season. Before we get out of here, I'm going to see the Odyssey in the 70 IMAX later today. This was the first time I could get a ticket. I'm excited. I've never seen a movie on a screen that big before, so I'm not really sure what to expect.
I didn't see it in IMAX, but it is very, very good.
I've heard only good things about it. I know I have to get over there early because it's Spider-Man opening day too. And so the theater is going to be super crowded, but I'm excited. I love a good movie theater experience. Get some popcorn, get a soda, settle in. I'm disappointed that obviously in the IMAX theater, there's no recliners. I have grown accustomed to having the reclining seats, but you know,
A couple of things you should expect. Number one, the very first person you see on the screen is absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who it is. You just have to.
All right.
He does not fit the cast of this movie whatsoever.
I'll keep that in mind.
Number two, you're going to hear a lot of really loud noises that you're never going to hear again in the theater. Just enjoy them.
I've heard that too. I've heard there are some noises that are just like haunting. Like
That's what she said.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was well done.
That's also what she said, but that was a good one.
No, I'm excited. I'm a big fan of the movie going experience. Like I'm a person, I love to go see a movie by myself. I'm doing it today. My wife's out of town, so that's why I was like, sweet, I'll go see a movie.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing that this afternoon. I'll report back on the 70 IMAX experience, one of 25 screens in the country that can play
let me know.
So
I've never seen a movie
right, I haven't
IMAX
either
before.
I reported back over Christmas when I had to see the 4D movie for Avatar, and that was horrible.
I don't think I would ever do a 4D movie.
Like in a car crash 8 times. So
especially this is a movie you would not want to do the 4D
right
in.
So yeah, no, I'm excited to see it in the IMAX. It'll be my first time seeing it on something like that, so I'll report back on Monday. Before we go, let's wrap up with Titans here. Titans training camp tomorrow out at the practice facility. No pads still, but it is open to the fans. Monday the pads come on. This is a big couple of days for the Titans as they start gearing up, because a week from Tuesday, you're in Santa Clara for a joint practice. So it's gonna get faster and more furious here.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm not gonna be able to be out there tomorrow because it's the last rodeo.
Oh yeah,
on the weekends with my my little
little friend,
my little buddy. But he'll be with us all the time on my show on the weekdays.
Oh, I'm the little. I was editing something back. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, you're the little buddy.
Yes.
Yeah. So excited for that 9 to 11 tomorrow.
9 to 11 tomorrow.
Weekend huddle.
Practice, I think, starts at 10:15 again.
Yes, I think it's 10:15 almost every day.
Okay.
So,
but I'm excited. I'm excited for the fans
yep.
being able to go out there. You're going to get to see the new practice uniforms, which are pretty awesome.
And the stands they've set up out there looks great. So now excited for it. Practice tomorrow. We will be back on Monday live from Titans training camp, and we'll give you all the updates over the weekend here. But that will do it for us today. Coming up next, Chase and Big Joe. Keep it right here on 102.5 The Game.